I sort of got cut off there. I ran out of memory. So once you get this wedge in, you move the paper, you pull it tight, you tuck it under here, you put this wedge in, and then your paper is pretty much tight. And then what you do is pretty much the reverse of what you did before. And you'll notice here that I'm not raising this, you might notice anyways, that the spine isn't quite as raised as I was on the stone. You want it almost flat here, at least with the thinner angle that I'm using on this knife. Because when the paper curves around the edge, it can round off your edge if your angle is too high. So you want to be using moderate pressure, not too much. Take a few strokes. What you're doing here is polishing the edge up to reduce friction when you're cutting things, which really works best if you have the whole blade mirror polished, because that'll reduce friction along the whole surface. But also this reduces the size of the scratches at the edge, which when you look under a microscope they look a lot like a sawtooth blade. What this does is it reduces the size of those scratches, which makes the edge closer to just a straight line, which is much more stable. When you have a coarse edge and you have the scratches, what can happen is when you're cutting things, they can tear out, they can chip more easily than a higher polish edge. So this, and it will, polished edge will also feel much sharper. It's not necessarily actually sharper, but it will part material a little bit better. It will shave a little bit better, and you can shave with a 40 grit belt finish, but it's much more pleasant to do it with a 15 micron finish, say. So now that I've been doing that for a little while, the edge is more even and it's sort of polished out. It doesn't have those scratches that were there before, so I'm just going to take a couple more passes. Now I'm going to switch paper real quick. I'm just going to keep going down through the grits as fine as I want to go, down to, I could stop at 400, I could keep going until I get down to 5 micron, and then strop it on either the 1/2 micron film that I have there, or I can strop it on my bench strop here. But basically, the more polished the edge is, the better it will cut, and the longer the edge will last, at least in theory. And so far in my